And this is great. With my ex-wife, you want to fucking hear something? She hated the fact that she enjoyed sex with me. She fucking hated it. Hated it. She hated the fact that I could satisfy her fucking nagging ass. Hated it. It drove her fucking nuts that I could make her have orgasms whether she liked it or not. Isn't that just fucking riotous? It's out of this world fucking crazy. They hate men so much that they don't even want to give you the pleasure of satisfying their sexual needs. Isn't that fucking hilarious? The day I realized that, I thought, what the fuck is going on here? Fuck. Fuck.
Looking at her.
Sick with jealousy. Son of man, dance for me. I command you to dance.
I will not dance.
Son, I beg of you. I will give you anything you want.
Anything?
Even unto the half of my kingdom.
Night creatures, night monsters, hags of the darkness of eternal night. Lilith was purported to be the first wife of Adam, before Eve, whose obstinacy, pride, and vanity made her refuse to lie under him, and is considered, by some, to be the demonic reality of the feminist movement. Once the old patriarchal system started crumbling, it's obvious that the government should have taken away men's responsibility to women. Today, men have none of the authority but still carry the responsibility. Alimony still exists, and they call it spousal support in a 1984 doublethink wording. Of course, once no-fault divorce came on the scene, it nearly doubled the divorce rate, as divorces became easy, unproblematic, and a fast way to dispose of one's spouse and quickly collect the cash and prizes, now so easily accessible. Women want men's money, half a man's kingdom and power, either directly or by proxy. To put it simply, you might call it penis envy. You can see this in the ancient story of Lilith, or just refer to Freud, and she'll always be back for more.
Everything I want.
It's like trying to appease a blackmailer. No doubt, society fully expected men to remain the blue pill simps they had gotten so used to pushing around. But men can no longer afford to take responsibility for women's choices, particularly if there are no rewards but only financial penalties for doing so. I still find it really incredible that the government, psychologists, assorted groups, and even women themselves still haven't figured out this simple truth.
Now, Salome, what would you have for your dance?
I want, on a silver platter.
What on a silver platter? A ruby, a diamond, a pearl?
I want the head of John the Baptist.
can you want with the head of a man?
I want to look at it.
Give her what she asks.
Double ride.
Now, let me see. What am I going to have?
Now, you ain't gonna have anything, little girl, till I see some sort of identification.
I'm a married woman.
Put up a sign. Available.
Well, honey, I didn't do anything. Not a thing. Can I have a candy bar?
There you go again. Every man, every one of them. What's the matter with you? Look out there on the road. The old man's fruit stand. You selling peaches. Peaches. I said to myself, she's fresh as a peach herself. But look out. Wrong. And still I fell for it, didn't I? I had to have you.
Me? You want a fudgy or something?
All I want is the Jack decent, you understand? Can't you see what it's doing to me?
You're getting gray there and there.
Stop it!
There. That's why you're so mean.
Lilith, which was typically a woman that hated all of mankind, but she was the daughter of Ahab. What we're dealing with is that this is a battle between the forces of good and evil. And when we look at this, we live in an inverted world. Teachers, institutions, government, all these different things are nothing more than a reflection of the inversion, this perversion. Because when we're looking at man and woman, particularly in this inverted world we live in today, if the environment is sick, you're not going to be able to raise people properly in an inverted and perverted environment. And so the women are nothing more than a reflection of that. Now, Lilith, Angry MGTOW, I wanted to know what your thoughts on this were. The other thing I wanted to bring up, which was this whole transsexual agenda. It's turning men into women, because I come to the conclusion that, in my opinion, I think the devil's a woman.
Lilith was supposedly the first demon, and Lilith, you know, she gave birth to many of the demons on earth. You know, when you look at the story of how Lucifer fell from heaven, Lucifer sat next to God, and Lucifer was taken with vanity. Lucifer was the most beautiful angel in heaven. Why would you describe a man having extreme amounts of vanity and being to the right of God, and, you know, having all this power, that sounds like a queen, someone who is taken with their own vanity, but she wanted to be God. God explained, "You can never be me." She basically threw a fit. She got her sympathizers and said that, he's not being fair, and he basically kicked them all out of heaven. And it was on earth that she, tempted. She came in the form of a snake. She said to Eve, "If you eat the fruit, you will be just like God himself." And so immediately Eve ate the fruit. Now, the funny thing is, the serpent knew that this line would not work on Adam. Adam was not foolish enough to not only believe this, but to dare think that he could be God, he could replace God. And he sinned as a result of his wife. Ultimately, it was women who ended up going to that first, and you can see a relationship between women and snakes and women and Lucifer, and I definitely think that there's a correlation between women and Satan. I do believe that Satan is a woman, that Lucifer is a woman.
What I find interesting, Angry MGTOW, is that, it said in the story that the fallen angels came down and bred with the women of earth. So that's breeding a different species with another. There's something going on here that I think that a lot of people might not have even begun to think about, and that has to do with the inverted side of the devil being a woman.
It could also just signify that women were made with the same nature as Lucifer. Just like man was made in the nature of God, it wouldn't be surprising to know that women were made in the nature of Lucifer.
Interesting about all this is that when we look at Lilith, when we look at the modern day women, I see that there are very similar qualities. And when we look at Lilith, when we look at the modern day women, a lot of the narcissistic and sociopathic behavior, a lot of it begins, the pieces of the puzzle begin to put together. And I think that, Lilith is very much a key component to what we see in the feminist agenda, because stuff has been going on since biblical times. I mean, I think that's the whole point of why it's even in there to begin with. And that has to do with this matrix, this disorder. But, I mean, the things around us are so sick. And even people, you just go outside and you look at people today, people are such a mess. You have to have the right conditions in order to raise kids right, raise women right, raise the world right. And you can't do that when we have all this shit going on with all this crap in the media and all this stuff. And I think we're reaching a crucial point in all this. This is why we talk about the collapse. This is, that's the whole thing. It's the big deal, the end of the world. It's nothing more of an inversion of the way things are supposed to be. And to see all of these things unfolding,
as we go our own way, we have to be aware that there are very destructive people out there who would like to do us harm, and we have to know know that they're there so that we can resist what they're doing.
I would 100% agree.
In the end, there's still the word everywhere. In heaven and its angels, the earth and stars, even in the darkest part of the human soul. It was there the word burned brightest, and for a moment I was blinded.